137 for 8.
Yep. And it looks as if
when he says we are live,
I'm just saying, it was brilliant timing. He says we're live and I'm mid-yawn and I'm like, okay.
at least his timing is better than most of the West Indies batters in this test match.
Really?
Yeah. Because
if his timing was good, my yawn wouldn't be caught. Just saying.
But still, exactly. It was an absolute, you may say, West Indies trying to survive. Atanase impressing with 47.
Was this them trying to survive?
Yeah.
What would have been the case if they weren't?
For the first hour, no wickets were lost. Most of the wickets came during the session that was proceeding to tea. I mean, see, 1 hour, no wickets. Last hour, 4 wickets fell.
I asked you before the day's play started that will India bat today, and you were like, no. Looks difficult. And now?
Yeah, they very well might. In the last session, India will come out to bat, and Ash, the destroyer, with 4 wickets.
If they had got 9, they would have extended it by half hour.
Probably, yeah.
No, 20 minutes.
20 or whatever.
20 minutes, yeah. They would have extended it by. And, well, it didn't happen because the giant is still batting out there. Rakeem Cornwall.
It actually looked more solid than...
You may say, like an Alzari Joseph or a Joshua Da Silva, definitely. I mean...
Yeah, I was surprised they said Alzari over Rakeem. Cornwall is someone who is counted as an all-rounder.
And he opens in the CPL, by the way, for his team. I think is he St. Davis in Kids Patriots?
I don't remember which team he plays for. Yeah. But I know for a fact that, he's bats pretty high up the order. So.
No, he's looking good. I mean, the whole... I mean, we've seen him for some time. Whatever said and done, no matter how many times I see it, when he does come out to bat, it just is an unusual sight.
It is.
For a man his size, you don't see it in professional sport, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty good. Finally, he can join us.
And full credit to him, by the way, he's a regular across the longest format of the game.
Yeah.
Which in itself, you'd think, okay, if a guy like him is playing, maybe it'd be limited to white ball cricket.
Yeah.
But no.
I mean, I very well remember Rakeem Cornwall's first major visual which went viral. He was playing in the CPL against the Barbados Tridents. And he was playing for the St. Lucia Zooks. He was hitting well, but then he was really fatigued. And he said, no, I can't continue. Kyron Pollard gave him an absolute spray. I mean, when he was going towards Pollard, was like, come on, what the hell are you doing? I mean, you do not deserve to play cricket. I don't know. He didn't say in those lines.
But you know, he could have had a medical condition also.
Yeah.
So, Kyron Pollard had to be a bit mindful. I think he does. His weight is not so much unhealthy.
Yeah.
But I think he has a condition, a hormonal condition or something, which actually doesn't allow him to lose that weight. So it's not that he's got an unhealthy lifestyle or because of that he's put on that weight. I think he has a condition because of which that weight is there.
But as compared to 4 years ago, he looks slightly thinner.
Yeah, what I'm saying, whatever he can do will be a marginal change, right? So it's not, I mean, whether, I don't know, the medical thing, whether it's genetic or if it's something that happened a little later. But there's a condition, a medical issue, which is why he's got that weight. And it's not that unhealthy weight that, you know, he sits on the couch and eats chips and drinks Coke and so he becomes like that. That's not it. But he's pretty nimble on his feet, huh? The way he moves, front foot, back foot, pretty good.
Oh, I think I saw like the one short ball that was bowled to him. Maybe it
was late.
Exactly. I'm not, because that I was thinking whether he didn't get the timing right or was he just too slow. And I was just thinking, since we're all talking about you know, his physical appearance and how he probably manages, let's say, as an athlete. I just thought it was just slow, and maybe, you know, with that
one-off shot, it can happen to anybody.
I'm just saying, maybe I think it's going to be difficult for him to anyway be a very fast puller of the ball, because I'm not sure of the athleticism bit, let's say.
But athleticism, size can be deceptive also. Like,
it can be.
Take an example, like Harshit. He's pretty lean. You may think like he's very athletic, but that may not be the case.
Knee, shoulder, back.
Knee, shoulder,
groin.
Groin.
Whereas you could have someone like a Cornwall.
No fitness issues.
No, you could look unathletic, but could yet be athletic.
And he's someone who plays first class cricket, regularly plays T20
This
leagues.
is a random example. Like,
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with anyone in real life.
I mean,
No coincidence.
Inzamam ul Haq.
Basically, you say the appearance can be deceptive.
Parents can be deceptive.
I mean, Inzamam ul Haq.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Inzi, yeah, see, I mean, in terms of his batting, though, he was never slow. But his running between the
Running,
wickets.
yeah.
And he had one unfortunate problem.
Yeah.
He was very clumsy.
He was clumsy.
Falling over the wickets and that kind of thing was just.
But
then
maybe
new
that
material.
was clumsy because of that extra weight.
Yeah, of course, of course.
So it's not that.
Maybe if you want to look at very
Monty
bulky athlete and athletic, Brian McMillan of South Africa.
Yeah, no, but he was athletic.
Yeah,
He was just a big guy. He was so that is like a rugby player.
Yes.
They're all
Oh,
athletic. They
yeah.
run fast. But they're big.
Yep.
I'm talking about where it's not proportionate to your body. So I'm saying, like McMillan, his lower body will also be as strong as his top
Yes.
body, right? But the difference is when your
He
lower
was an
body.
intimidating athlete, man.
I'm
Brian
telling you, South Africans by nature, or in general, when I've gone, most of them, like, people say that Germans are really tall, but South Africans, yeah. Every time I've traveled to the country, the white South Africans are big, massive guys. Each of them looks like a rugby player. To me.
Yes, yes. I
They
mean,
just look like.
Look at
rugby
someone
players.
like an Heinrich Nokia. Don't look out of
Yeah.
place.
He's still lean. I've met, you won't believe it, I went once to cover a fishing tournament in South Africa. Fishing, and even the guys who were fishing were like huge, like 6 feet something, broad guys. You shake their hand, you like, all
the-
farmers, and things like
the
that.
most
Big guys.
enthusiastic fishermen that we had, Matthew Hayden and Andrew Simons.
Rocket.
Yeah.
What they did now once, the story. now?
2009 against Bangladesh.
No. This is while they were, they went for fishing.
Yeah.
They went deep sea fishing, and their boat capsized.
Oh.
And imagine, firstly, if any of you swim, swimming in still water is so tough.
What, deep
in ocean, it's tougher.
Because the currents are stronger.
And so, if you can just bring yourself, if you can swim and even come in an ocean water to the shore, that itself is an example
Immense.
of a tough guy can do it. These guys not only swam back, they even got their boat along with them.
My goodness.
Both of them.
Yeah, I think I somewhat heard this. Yeah, because them and their fishing chronicles.
Yeah.
They're very legendary.
Yeah.
So, so
Simons,
just telling you the strength of these two
know.
guys, Andrew Simons and Matthew.
Simons put his international cricket career on the line due to fishing. In that Bangladesh
Yeah.
series ODI, he missed. I'm not going to go to a team meeting, I'm going fishing.
Fishing, yeah.
Another very, I think, let's say, notable fisher, I think Quinton de Kock
Quinton de
is
Kock,
another one.
Yeah.
Also a powerful lad.
But Quinton is another level.
Ha.
He likes fishing more than
cricket.
Yeah.
More than
He
cricket.
looks baby-faced and looks very lean, but when you see him face to face, he's very strong.
You see, the power which he's hitting those balls. He's a lanky guy, but he's whacking them.
And man, you have to really strain to hear him. He's got such
He's
a
very
soft
Yeah,
voice.
yeah.
And he's also camera shy. Doesn't
Yeah,
do too
yeah,
many
doesn't.
interviews. Very reclusive. In fact,
He
I'm
and
gonna
Joss Butler.
quote, but one of his teammates told me that he is so disinterested in cricket.
Yeah.
So disinterested in cricket. He just doesn't want to practice. He doesn't want to come, like you tell him cricket, he'll rather go fishing
Yeah.
full day. But he's like, yet he's so good. And he doesn't like the sport. He doesn't like cricket. He doesn't, here you have examples of Steve Smith and Manas Labuschagne.
Oh,
and
lovers
also,
of the game.
Hours and hours they're spending practicing batting. Even Indian players to that extent, they go like Virat Kohli. They work a lot in the nets, trying to work on their techniques, hitting 500, 600, I don't know how many balls a day in the nets, sweating it out, getting better. This guy hits it, doesn't want to come down. In fact, he's not even serious about the sport. It's just that he's made it professionally, earns money, so he'll play it. Yet he's good. So this teammate of his who was telling me this, imagine if he liked the sport.
I think
Imagine
he's
if
one
he
of the best batters in the world in that case.
Yeah, so if he loved it, he spent time trying to improve himself. How good he could have been, but he's not.
I
too
mean,
interested.
parallel if I want to draw. Curtly Ambrose. Never was serious on, he liked NBA a lot more, basketball.
Yeah, but Curtly went to practice sessions. He would bowl, he would practice, and he was serious about. And whatever said and done, he was a he was also a sharp bowler.
Yeah.
Apart from his height and pace and bounce, he is a sharp bowler. He would work on dismissal, so he knew how to, and he was not erratic. And that's the one thing that people say. Imagine, 90% of the people, if I had like that kind of a height and I could generate that bounce and pace, we become so arrogant that you intimidate batsmen with that. You don't really work on the game. But look at Kirtley, right? He could bowl that nagging line as well.
Yes,
he won't
yes.
always get you out with bounce away.
Yep.
You bowl that nagging line, keep,
Get that seam
McGrath,
movement in or out. Oof,
Yeah.
menace.
So he was a thinker of the game.
Yeah.
I met him as well. By the way, talking about that, Curtly Ambrose himself hated giving interviews.
Yeah.
He was once famously quoted by somebody saying that he's doing commentary, by the way. So he says, Curtly,
Talk to no man. Yes.
I don't speak to anybody. Used to never give any interview. He was very aloof. But now he's doing commentary.
He's a lead singer also, right?
Yeah,
In a
that
band,
also.
yeah.
I've seen them perform live.
Wow.
I saw Richie Richardson, Curtly Ambrose. They were part of the same band. You wouldn't believe it. The cafe that I went to was a roadside cafe. Must have been like some 30 people that night in that cafe in the evening, having their drinks and listening to their music, the live band perform. About 15 of them would be us journalists who found out that they're doing. 15 were just locals just coming. There was no fanfare.
Yeah.
Here's a former captain of their cricket team and arguably one of the finest bowlers to have played cricket. I'm not even saying West Indian. Curtly Ambrose. I think he'll make my all-time ODI 11.
Of course.
I think he will. Or he'll be up for debate.
In the contention.
Yeah. And they are part of the band and they're performing and they're like, it's just like people just walk in the street can just enter, watch and then go and no big deal. Can you think of, I don't know.
Bob Marley, another one.
No, but Bob Marley was big, right? Bob Marley had a fan following.
Yeah, but even he was someone who lived.
Yeah, but Bob Marley would get mobbed, right?
No, of course.
Now, these two are just playing in the band and like, there were
He was
30
the reggae
people,
god.
30 people. Imagine, whatever, like former captain, MS Dhoni and some other person
Not
as a band. That pub
would be
Would be
over.
ransacked.
no, there will be no, you won't be allowed any reservations, nothing. It'll be just
Walk-ins.
VIPs
VIP only.
would be allowed. No cameras allowed. Whereas other things would have happened. So I saw them as well.
Yeah, so it's a really, imagine every single time we talk about all those legendary players, it saddens me about the current plight now.
Yeah.
It does.
Nobody watching, 137. I don't blame the
30,
for
40
not
locals
coming.
were there in Dominica.
Yeah.
Really, and that's what Singularity is also pointing out. Rate at which West Indies are withering away. Maybe the last test series for India and West Indies, although I don't agree with that, but very sad and very bad for world cricket.
But why? What are everyone's thought? You don't think it's the last time India are playing in last series for India and West
I
Indies?
think the bilateral ties between these two boards are too strong. They may not want to abandon them that quickly.
No, I think what he's saying, singularity, is what he's hinting at is that probably it'll just wither away. It's not going to do with the bilateral ties, I believe. What he's saying is
No, maybe the last test series for India and West Indies.
Well, I think what he means that is because West Indies will
As an
eventually
entity, so
will fade away as a force.
multiple nations of Trinidad, then Windward Islands, Leeward Islands, Jamaica, Guyana. There may be no entity called the West Indies as such.
You think so?
Well, see,
are there any political developments for you to believe that way?
No. There are no political developments. Why I think everyone's raising that is, if you've been following the news, especially after they didn't qualify for the ODI World Cup, there is a lot of talk now amongst cricket fans, whether in the Caribbean or just the cricketing world per se, where they feel that one of the reasons why the decline has happened is because there are, because there's no one structure.
Cohesion.
Yeah, there's no cohesion in terms of working. Plus, even that will to do something which you want to do for your country. That doesn't exist.
It's not a country.
They're playing under a united flag, let's say. That's it.
So
there
that,
is no
that's not helping them.
patriotism per se that
Remember,
they feel towards.
So that's not helping
the
them.
entity of the West Indies was created primarily for only cricketing purpose. There is no
Exactly.
nation called.
Yeah.
So,
Which is what they're saying that the solution now is that if you make it, by the way, in all other
How
sports.
much talent will you be able to churn out then from individual islands?
in all other sport, in the Olympic Games, they
Yeah.
all have individual
yeah.
teams.
For example, the Commonwealth, Barbados participated as a cricketing nation. The women's cricket team, Barbados came in. Trinidad and Tobago have participated as a separate entity altogether in many of the games. So,
And
in women's cricket.
yes.
no, and in the most competitive sport on the planet, which is football,
Yeah.
their teams play separately.
Exactly.
Yet you've had them qualify for the FIFA World Cup.
Correct.
So again, which is really tough to do.
Yeah.
Well, that tells you that even smaller islands with smaller population can churn out top level teams. Trinidad played the World Cup. Jamaica have played
Jamaica
the World
played.
Cup. So
Yeah, and imagine, you're talking about Barbados, that's the Windward Islands, the Leeward Islands. St. Lucia is also in the Windward Islands, if you look at. Guyana, it's a country in South America. The only South American country to be playing cricket.
part of mainland. So it's
Yeah.
the only country which is part of the. So I mean that is one. Coming back to singularities question, sends us from the UK. Do you think it's the last time India are playing a test series in West Indies? That's the question.
No, but I mean, even before
Or
this,
versus West Indies.
versus West Indies, we could never tell. Maybe in West Indies or in these islands, probably not. Because again, I
Okay,
think
versus West Indies.
perhaps,
Last time.
perhaps.
So the next time the series happens, it'll be India versus Trinidad and Tobago,
Or
Jamaica.
India versus Dominica or Windward Islands. Jamaica, India versus Jamaica.
Anybody.
No,
just
I
hope
don't
it
think
doesn't
so.
happen.
Forget what you hope. Is it
No. Not happening.
India not playing West Indies?
India will play. I'm saying the West Indies withering away might not happen.
So and India will travel
Yes.
to West. So what you're saying is, it's not the last time India are playing West Indies, whichever way you look
Yeah.
at it.
Same.
I also kind of agree with you. I think it'll, for each of those islands to have a team, and the problem with that is, let's assume they do it also, right? And they can churn out enough talent to have their team. Test series are anyway so tough now for bilateral countries to play against each other with the limited test teams that they are, that India barely plays Afghanistan, or Bangladesh now just 2 test matches you'll play. Ireland is a test playing country, you do not
Zimbabwe.
play. Zimbabwe you do not go. So where India does not have the time, as soon as you make it a Jamaica, Trinidad, you really think that India will play one of them. It'll probably anyway West Indies they rarely play. Then it'll anyway happen once in 10 years if it happens.
If it happens.
Then if it's India versus Trinidad, it may happen once in 10 years. Because every 2 or 3 years they will play a Caribbean nation, but then
Yeah.
it'll get divided. So I don't see that
It
happening.
will be
So
a
West Indies
logistical
will-
hassle. Because remember, West Indies is made up of 16 to 20 countries. Now, if they break up, if they wither, are you going to play 16 to 20 more countries? Not happening.
Yeah.
Not
Logistically, it's not
everyone will
possible.
be able to come up with a cricket team. Yeah, even
No,
if it
I-
happens.
even if it does happen.
Some will.
5.
Some will.
At max 5. Guyana, Jamaica, Trinidad and
Trinidad,
Tobago, the
Barbados,
Leeward and the
Dominica.
Windward Islands. Not Dominica.
Dominica,
Very
no.
few.
No.
Windward Islands, Leeward Islands, Guyana, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago.
I do not think that West Indies is going to go, for at least for Test cricket, it will remain.
Yeah,
I
it
do
will
not
be.
So
see.
no disintegration.
Yeah, won't happen. The only thing, I mean, that will happen, and I think that will be the future of Test cricket, is where you will now reach a situation where teams are going to pick and choose who they play.
Yes.
That is going to be there. Right now, because you need each other's votes for
Yeah.
various things to be passed on at the ICC, you do these tours, but eventually countries will realize I can't do it right for money purposes and others. I think it will reach a stage. The only way to organize it is have a tier system.
Yeah.
Now already have a WTC cycle. Based on the WTC cycle performances, have the top 5, bottom 5, something like that sort of a setup.
If you have a tier system, though, it will probably end up furthering the gap even more.
I know, but
Perhaps.
what I'm saying is it'll keep the interest alive.
But I don't know.
For who?
But
For those countries, for example, in India,
And for India, I think it will be there.
Indians would, or people would want to watch India, England, India, Australia, you know,
but
these
then the
kind of-
counter theory-
India, Pakistan, you won't allow it because of political reason. But imagine as one series.
how
that
do you
people
have a
would
tier
wanna-
system in that case?
Yeah.
Also, then the other
Then
thought
it'll
sort
be
of
like in the tier.
hybrid.
There's tiers within tiers. Hybrid model.
No, but then I like the other theory, which goes opposite to this proposition. Is, see, if you're going to have this tier system and wherein teams only get to come to tier 1 once you're in the top 2 of, let's say, tier 2, let's say. But then if those teams end up only playing a certain competition level and they're not playing the best nation, how does their game go
I know
up?
it's harsh, but that's such
See,
is the
a tier
reality.
system works if there are 20
is the
to
reality.
30 nations.
No, and also the tier 2 system is already unofficially there. Certain teams just don't play each other. It's a fact.
Look at it. India, Australia and England, they play 5 tests. When was the last time New Zealand or the West Indies played a 5 test? West Indies at least played 20 years ago.
India, England also has now become officially 5 tests.
Yeah.
But
even in
at
the
least
past,
4, you
yeah.
got 4
You had
and you
4.
had 5 also. Yeah.
When was the last time New Zealand played a 4 test series? When was the last time South Africa played a 5 test series? A 5 test series was way back in 1998, 2000. 5 test series. South Africa we are talking about, by the way, which is in those fringes of the top 4. That's your priority.
Yeah. True. Just taking a few questions. I've forgotten. Mehraj Rule is saying that he backed Sportstuck Blue to win. Now he's in debt. Sorry, Mehraj, but do not bet on sport, please. First
Yeah.
advice. You just back the teams. It happens. It's part of sport. Teams win, teams lose. Do not miss.
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
Not Mumbai Indians.
It's really, okay, Mehraj, he wants us to see Mission Impossible.
No, I'm kind of done with those movies. How many impossible missions can you have? It's like Fast and Furious. One last ride.
James Bond.
One more. No, James Bond still makes sense. It's based on
Based
the
on-
novels.
yeah.
That's fine. No, with Fast and Furious, after Fast and Furious 5, 6, it was one last ride. Then it's one last ride again. Then it's one last ride because we need to give The Rock his own franchise because he doesn't get along with Vin Diesel. I'm done with those movies and this one too.
Yeah, neither am I. I just enjoyed
Mr.
the first one. I kind of tolerated the second one.
Hmm.
And after that, I haven't bothered. Missions can be as impossible.
And he's still doing it. They're not impossible after all.
There are takers for it.
No, I get it. There are takers.
Like
That's fair.
even I saw it, but just because of the franchise Top Gun also. After two I watched it. It was nice. Okay, but one was one.
Yeah. That novelty of the what was that? F-16s, right?
Yeah, and that was more rugged and real. This became too technical and too much. It was just like breaking this barrier.
Also helped by the geopolitical situation at that time. No, heights of the Cold War.
Yeah,
85.
exactly. Correct.
Yeah.
All
But
of
Top
that.
Gun was 85, right?
I don't know.
I
I
don't
was
know
born
much,
then.
But you must have watched it.
I've watched it, of course, but again, I don't
I don't
know.
remember the year.
Yeah, I say it. Yeah.
Mr. Shekhar from the US says, evening to you as well. It's night for us. He says Afghanistan won the ODI series in Bangladesh where India failed 8 months ago. Is this why didn't update with Afghanistan Bangladesh result? What does he say? Somebody answer.
I mean, we didn't do a detailed thing on Afghanistan versus Bangladesh, like how we are doing it here at this point. India versus West Indies.
That's professional jealousy.
Why would we be professionally jealous of either Afghanistan or Bangladesh who are playing
Or
each
any
other?
cricket team.
See, we did when Bangladesh beat Afghanistan by 546 runs. That was
Cold ball, left hand ball. He was saying, missed the stump by. Jadeja is laughing.
Could we see the stumps?
Can we see Jadeja's face?
Just see
Why would he personally leave that?
Just
Yeah.
see him. Look at this.
That's a brave
He
lead.
really knows where his off stump is.
Yeah, but had it just slid on with the
If it was with the arm ball, he was a
ball.
But
That's
that's why I said it was a brave lead. Because my first thought was arm ball.
He read the hand. He knew it's not an arm ball.
From a big vision that he's got. Really?
Sharp eye.
Mark Henry, you call him, right? The WWE wrestler.
I don't know. I don't watch WWE.
Why not?
Today we
I don't say.
Today we are
Oh,
scandalous today.
What was his moniker? The world's strongest man.
Oh no, but that was a
Give
legitimate
us
moniker.
normal ones, normal chats, please.
So that's an actual competition called the World's Strongest Man. It's a competition
Oh, he
within
won
strong
that?
man, and he won that. So he was called that for a reason. It was an actual title.
Oh.
Divyansh Devgan is saying West Indies cricket was nice when Digicel used to sponsor them. I agree, Divyansh. I went to West Indies multiple times. Digicel were the most amazing sponsor.
I like cable and wireless.
Cable and Wireless is also good, but Digicel, They used to do so many events and interaction with the team. We went for a party once.
Yeah.
The entire West Indian team was there. We were like having drinks and dinner. We suddenly look here and they're all dancing like choreographed songs.
You know what's the irony? Digicel was one of the reasons for the kind of downfall they find themselves in now.
Why?
Because they were one of the title sponsors, no? So there was a lot of control exercised by the board. So you can't, like, individual players, if they wanted to sponsor or advertise
contract
a
prices.
rival, yes, a rival, this thing, you needed permission, we won't give permission, this, that. So Digicel was one of the reasons. I know, very ironic.
2009 Bangladesh, it peaked in
They
that.
pretty much had to name a second string team in that series, if I recall
Rich
correctly.
Floyd Reefer came back after a decade.
What's Dex asking?
Oppenheimer or Barbie? Oh, these are two movies which are coming out. I mean,
I don't know of any.
I've only heard of them on memes. So,
No idea.
GGK says, I think last time Indian main team will play in West Indies. From next door, mostly B or C team.
to be fair, for the white ball tours, even last year, it was mostly the B or C team. So,
But for test matches?
test match? I don't know.
I mean, as we were arguing, the right time for the seniors and retired youngsters was this tour.
Tour. So
Why
that in
didn't
itself.
happen?
No, but you kind of have. You brought in two debutants here. See, you're never going to be playing B teams in the test now because it's the WTC. Every test, even the most one-sided test, has relevance in terms of points.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
Test cricket community is asking, am I going to Durban for the ICC annual meeting? No. By the way, Asia Cup schedule is going to be out anytime. So it could be within a day or two.
Yeah, they're saying 14.
Yeah, so it could be out anytime. But it's pretty much on the lines that we had said earlier. 4 matches in Pakistan and the remaining in Sri Lanka. There are talks of it being in Kandy. Dambula is the other venue that I'm hearing that. I think Dambula could be the
They wanted-
Palakele or Dambula.
They wanted Colombo, but then it's a rainy time at
Yeah.
that point, so they can't have
Yeah,
it.
Dambula is actually the rain shadow area.
Rain shadow, yes.
So it
Actually.
could be in Dambula.
Today was the worst rain shadow incident that had ever happened in cricket.
Worst.
No, Chinnaswamy Stadium, half of the stadium it's raining, half it's sunny. The curators are not knowing what to do. Should we cover the pitch? Should we cover the audience? What to do? Strangest of strange rain shadow. Half of Chinnaswamy Stadium it's raining, other half it's sunny. What to do?
Manoj is asking a question to you, Harshit, which I also want to ask you. Please answer it.
Oh, I think we may have a wicket.
He
definitely got
has physical issues, so it takes time for him to reach A place to B place. We guys reach quicker. So our office is very big.
Right now I got stuck at the lift.
We also use lift. How come you're the one who's we are always here?
Stuck today.
Okay, thank you for your company. We'll be back very soon. Maybe 5-10 minutes.
Yes.
Huh?
Let's go get our tea break.
For 5-10 minutes only maybe.
Because of the innings change.
But
So
until
till
we
then
will
we'll
be back very soon.
Until then, we'll have our own tea break.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think
And it could be
Look,
9.
9 down,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Kima,
leg before.
Roach.
Let's see this with our.
It's out.
He's
I think he's out.
Yeah, he is out. He is out.
No
even I
bat.
think. So 9 down. There's a good chance that. Huh?
He's a goner.
The first one I can't answer. And the second one is. Mr. Shekhar wants to know, in how many test nations have you covered any bilateral or ICC events? Nick, where have you covered most and where have you never traveled? So, anyone else wants to go where you've covered?
I have covered.
Sri Lanka is gone too, no?
I've covered the Nidahas Trophy in Sri Lanka, and in India I've covered bilateral events. India, Australia.
How
I've
many
covered.
test nations? So, Sri Lanka
Sri Lanka.
and India.
Yeah.
So, I've covered in all test playing nations. That is before Afghanistan and Ireland got the
Ireland.
test status. So, covered in all countries barring one, and that answers your second part of the question. Where have I never traveled? And the answer to that is Pakistan. And that's one country I really want to travel. I'm
For the cricket, for the food.
for my ancestors were
couldn't
from
go in-
Punjab, right? So, I mean the larger Punjab.
You couldn't go in 2004 French.
No, I could not. I got my accreditation done. Everything was done. I was in this organization at the time, and everything was done. And they were going to send multiple teams, and then they decided because of a lot of issues, then they
Visas?
could only say, I think so.
Yeah.
I forget now.
I think there was a
My
quota on
accreditation,
visa.
I'd got the full kit. So very interesting kit. They had a India-Pakistan tie and all of that had bags and all of that I'd collected, but then I couldn't go. So
Did
that I missed
Vikrant
out
go
after.
for that?
Yeah,
He went.
and then after that, there were a few more. 6, 8 also they had
No.
Champions Trophy or something. They had
No, they couldn't. The Asia Cup.
Asia Cup. They had one more something. So I just couldn't go. So I wanted to go one because every test playing country you have memories of watching. So I have memories of watching a lot of cricket on TV. I've been in Pakistan. I wanted to go visit my maternal and paternal side families, ancestral places. So
Yeah.
so for that.
So only Sri Lanka I've covered, but not as a reporter. I've seen a test match
You
in
covered an
Manchester.
ICC event 10 days back, yeah.
I covered the schedule,
So,
but that is the
an
only.
ICC event?
That is the only thing. That is the only thing missing in my CV. I haven't covered an ICC event.
And what did you want bilateral? Where have I covered most? That's the final. Where have I traveled the most?
Well, yeah.
England,
England would be, I think so.
Because India have had a lot of consistent.
or
rules.
maybe what about the West Indies?
West Indies also, I've gone there
Sri Lanka?
twice. Sri
There are a
Lanka
lot of
also I've
those
gone a
also.
few times. Sri Lanka also I've gone a few times.
I mean, we used to have a tour to Sri Lanka every year in 2009, 10, 11.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But I guess it'll be England because there were multiple, events there. The most would be England. South Africa also I've traveled a few times. But yeah, England I guess.
so
The most. As the center of the world, as they say. Heathrow is like the center of the
oh
universe.
yes,
Because anyone going from anywhere
yep.
used to go via
Leo.
Heathrow.
That's
right?
why it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Total nightmare. Despite having 4 airports in London, the congestion still has not eased.
But the place that I've enjoyed watching cricket, not as a journalist, but just sitting in the crowd and watching cricket, are two. One is West Indies and the other is Sri Lanka.
Of course.
Amazing places. Both islands, so that whole island feel, fun-loving people.
And I.
But that West Indies, by the way, I think I'm in that sense lucky to have witnessed the last of the true West Indian flavor that existed there. Where
2002?
Crown, no, 6 I went,
6,
but 6 was also like that. Even World Cups you got decent crowds in. Even the T20 World Cup you got okay crowd, not great, but you could see that the decline had started.
10.
Yeah, but 6 was like proper. Like 6 was just as when I was watching cricket on television in the West Indies in the 90s, where I remember, it was a surreal moment for me because I remember I used to watch, Sidhu got a double 100. I still remember
in
watching
Trinidad and
Trinidad.
Tobago, yeah.
And then I remember Brian Lara's knock in Barbados against Australia.
Oh, 153.
So all these Antigua recreation ground, my favorite. So I used to remember Gravy. If you remember, Gravy used to be a fan. Like they had long dreadlocks, and so he used to come dressed in whites for each test match, and he used to be wearing pads and everything and thing. And he was like really thin, lanky fellow, and would wear heels. And with those heels, he would wear that. I remember watching him as a youngster, teenager, on television. I used to dance on the stand, and people used to dance at the Antigua Recreation Ground, ARG, the old. And so when I traveled for the first time, I went asking. So I was there like 4 or 5 days. I went asking, where can I see Gravy? Where do I? So I knew that there is something called Gravy. In fact, I remember he once even got Gavaskar, who at that time was commentating the 98 tour, if I'm not wrong. He got Gavaskar into the stand, and Gavaskar came and danced with Gravy in ARG. Like, I think you will still find those visuals on YouTube. You can check out if you're anywhere. So when I went to Antigua Recreation Ground, the first thing I asked, like, we start going to the ground 4 days in advance, 5 days, right, doing different reports, story. They said, no, you won't see him now. You'll only come on the match day. So I waited, match day he came. It was a test match. Match day he came. I went to that stand, went looking for him. I met him. I interviewed him. Those days you could interview in the ground only. From my camera, I interviewed him there. And you know where he was? When I went looking, he was just chilling on the side. And who was he chilling with? That was another story. He was just sitting, talking randomly to her. And I see him just chatting, standing on the side of the stand, chatting to somebody. Who's that somebody? Curtly Ambrose.
Oh, man.
They were chatting about the test match.
Yeah.
It's like amazing. But you know, there's no, the one thing about West Indies what I like is, there's nothing like, he's Curtly Ambrose and I'm an ordinary guy. So I'll be like Curtly or there's nothing. So I am Gravy, I am great. He's Curtly Ambrose, he's also great.
He's also great.
But I am also great.
Yeah.
That's a very open culture, I think.
Open, you will not believe it. And I tell this story. I have seen it. I was walking past. This is St. Lucia. I'm walking from my hotel, and there's a team hotel very close, and I'm walking there, and I see a coconut vendor which is across the thing. It's an empty kind of a street, and I can see there are 2-3 guys there. And then when I get closer while walking, I see one of them is Gail. I think one of them was Chandrapal. They'd gone to this coconut vendor to have coconut water, right? And while I cross them, I can hear the conversation. And for that, 60-80 seconds that I could hear them when I got close and I walked away also, that whole thing. The whole conversation that I heard for a minute and a half was that coconut vendor actually telling Chris Gayle what wrong he's doing.
Yes.
He was. And not for once was Chris Gayle telling him,
what do you know?
कभी बैट भी उठाया क्या? Sir, nothing. He's listening to him. He is listening to him. He's listening to him. So there is no divide. In fact, the first time I did, Viv, when I went to, I wanted to interview Viv, right? So we went looking for Viv and I found his house. Went to his house. We were told that no, he's not. He's gone to the golf course. So went to the golf course. So then we went to the club, that club that he was playing in. So I was told that he's playing, and so we waited for some time. And then I saw that he was, I think, finishing his round. So he had come to the last hole, which would have been near the clubhouse. So I could see him there. And he was there with so I waited. My driver, who was a local, says, okay, let me go call him. I said, he's playing his golf. Let him finish. We'll wait. We're so used to waiting. He said, but he walked in. He walked in, spoke to him. There's something I could see. He was speaking. He came back. He said, he's just coming and he'll do the interview. I said, how can you walk in? He said, so what? He said, I walked up to him. I said, do you know him? He said, no, I don't know him. So what? So I said, you walked in like that? I said, yeah. But I said, he's a big star. This and that. He said, so what if he's a big star? I'm a star of my own. Like, he may be with riches, whatever. I am this. So I went and told him, my friends are there from India. They're waiting for you to do the interview. He said, okay, let me just finish my last show and I'll come.
Man.
And that's how.
It's very open. The culture is next level open.
There's no hierarchy.
Exactly.
It's an egalitarian society.
Yes, just because one person has had the talent to play a sport for a country doesn't make him superior to.
That you patronize the other.
To me, that I have to be scared or subservient in front of him or nothing like that. He does what he does good. I'm good at what I do. I drive great taxi. So he's proud of that. And he's like, I do it very well.
Amazing.
So that's the kind of thing, that culture that exists in fact, Mr. Gavaskar, I'll tell you this story, incredible story that he narrated. So he said that, like this people giving advices, like West Indian fans. And I think I have a clip, I'd interviewed him long ago. I think I'll put that clip out. So he says this one series where he wasn't having a great time getting out pretty early. And
Is it?
No.
Wait, will they review?
I think that's what he's asking, if they left with the review.
Oh no, I think whether the catch was clean. I think that is what they are trying to figure out. That's what they'll check. It was a kind of a muted appeal.
Oh no, the umpires have gone.
Yeah, the umpires have gone for that.
The umpires have gone for that.
Yeah. So
that could be 150 all out.
150 all out, yes. So
the 3-day theory is well on track.
Don't jinx it.
3-day may not be. India could bat 2 days.
Yeah, and there is rain predicted on Saturday, so we don't know. So before, not as a journalist, before I started, I watched the game in Manchester.
By the way, that is the glove.
Yeah.
Got that. They just have to see the
catch.
Looks difficult.
Oh, he's taken it.
Fingers underneath the ball.
He's taken it.
You won't have an Ashes kind
He's
of a
taken it.
situation.
He's taken it.
Yeah.
Who's the catcher though?
I think it was Shubman. Looked like
Look,
Yeah, it was Shubman. It was Shubman.
Shubman.
Yeah.
Because normally he's at slip or silly point. That will be Pujara's position, na. He's supposed to be in that very. It's Shubman, yeah.
I think it's out. As I see it,
It is
out. No, fingers.
Is it? Yeah, fingers are underneath. No more.
This
athletes
always,
now,
na,
please.
always the kind of angle makes you see that. This is not a great angle, by the way. This is not a great angle.
It's a terrible angle because
You need to zoom into this, but I think this is out.
This is out here. So Ash gets 5 wickets.
50-50 actually. I don't know.
Out. This is out.
Well, if they're looking so much, then I think benefit of the doubt will go to the batter.
No, wait.
That's it.
This is a better angle.
Out.
It's
That's
out.
out.
It's
that's
out.
out.
I
What's the debate about, man? Give him all out.
yeah.
150.
150. As
With-
cricket is one saying T20 score in test.
Yeah.
Let's not mock, yeah.
It's not mocking. I mean, this is the problem that West Indies have faced. Against better bowling attacks, they have struggled. With the exception being England.
It is out.
So Ash gets 5 wickets.
5 for.
Ravichandran Ashwin now number 3 in the list of most wickets
By an Indian.
by an Indian. 700. Big
two.
big
You can
mark.
show those numbers. We have those numbers ready. We can.
Oh yeah, you have the numbers? Let's take a look. And by the way, this is the man who did not play.
In the
Your-
World Test Championship final.
Final.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well done, India.
Well done to anyone who
This
took
is,
that
by the
decision.
way, so this goes up to 702 now.
Yes.
Okay, so these are most wickets by Indian bowlers.
Indians, yeah.
Anil Kumble,
So these are average.
956 at 30 average.
Yep.
At को sign बनाया करो ना.
At the rate. Huh.
At looks like AajTak.
AajTak. 82.
Harbhajan 711.
11.
Ashwin 702 now.
Yep.
And look at that average, boy. Look at that average.
Yep.
And then you got
25.
Kapil Dev at 687 and Zahir Khan at 610. One question. Does he go past Anil Kumble?
No.
No chance.
No.
He goes
Age
past
is not on
Harbhajan
the-
Singh?
Yes.
100% yes.
Sorry? Yeah?
Yeah,
Harbhajan,
yeah.
I
He
think
might just go
that's
past.
happening
He might go past Harbhajan in this series.
in the
Andre.
series. You never know.
Yep.
But Anil Kumble, too far.
Too
Too far up,
We can have a look at the other one as well.
30. He's 36. He may have to play 4 more years to get
Yeah,
past that mark. No, it's not.
Okay, all-time wicket takers list. He is now 16th.
Yep.
Can he make it top 10? We don't know what the top 10 number is.
No.
But surely not top 4. Because if he's not going past Kumble, as we
Kumble,
just
yeah.
discussed.
Then not
No.
happening.
Not breaking in the top 4-5.
Yeah, top 4.
I mean, look at
Even then, yeah.
look at
Even
that. In the
then.
top 4, Anderson's the only pacer.
But tell me, somebody who's like, you know, in terms of the number of wickets he's taking, you have to accept that how many countries would be putting such bowlers on the bench?
None.
None.
Yeah.
You've
I'm
got to
saying-
have a great deal of conviction of what England are doing at the moment. Only then can you do or take such brave calls, I would say.
I
No,
mean,
but to be fair, this is the same England team under the Bazball approach, Bazball regime that recalled Anderson and Broad when they were out in the cold. So
Yeah.
they do value their bowlers.
Exactly. I'm not saying that,
I mean,
benching
England
is.
when they have wanted to take decisions, they have stuck by it. I mean, remember, 3 years after the Ashes glory that they had, it was all thanks to Hoggard, Harmison, and the likes. They had one bad test against New Zealand in 2008. Hoggard, Harmison no played after that. They were chucked. Get Broad, get Anderson in. That's it. We are starting
Of
afresh.
course, with Harmison, I think there were other issues as well.
Yeah, he didn't want to travel much.
He did
was
not like
reluctant
traveling at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hoggard also lost form and confidence after that axing, so he never came back. Jones was anyway out because of a very bad
He was
and chronic knee injury.
Injury, yeah.
Yeah.
Jones is probably one of the underrated ones of 2005.
Yeah,
He was
no, he
the
bowled
bowler.
really well.
Bowler.
Yeah.
What a
And the
bowler.
Reverse swing.
And
Yeah,
that catch.
Which catch?
Well,
That was Strauss who took that catch, Andrew Strauss. The diving one-handed at
Hey,
slip,
I
right,
remember him
of
taking a
Gilchrist.
good catch diving to his left, if I'm not wrong.
That was Strauss.
Which Jones are you referring to here? Because
Geraint Jones.
exactly,
Yeah.
are you referring to Geraint Jones? He's talking about Simon Jones, the bowler.
Simon Jones.
Geraint Jones took a great.
That was the one which won.
Kasparov.
Yes, Michael
in Edgbaston.
Kasparov.
But
1 o'clock.
no, but more for that match, I will remember the 3 words that Richie Beno gave on commentary. I had the Channel 4 feed at that time. I watched it. Jones, Bowden, given. 3 simple words to sum up the drama. That's why he was indeed the gold standard. So.
Buzz Dex continuously asking me if
like
I'm
a
going to
railway
Hungary.
announcer. Why is he doing that?
Have you?
But by the way, today only because just there was an inquiry about Budapest. Somebody I know is in Budapest wanted to watch Wimbledon.
Yes.
And I put Siddharth to
Detective work.
work as in how can you watch Wimbledon in Budapest?
Budapest.
But I'm not, by the way, I haven't, but I've met a few Hungarian folks here in India through a common friend. They were traveling, and whatever stories I heard from them and the kind of people that they were, this is one place I want to go.
Same here.
Very good, no?
They party a lot.
Yes. So I met them during a string of parties.
Same
So-
here. I also, in the sidelines of the World Athletics Championship, that was the best one. Bore.
What happened? Guys, you should have, that's why I removed the comments. Otherwise, please minimize it.
It's 1 o'clock, as you said.
What is it? Either say it or minimize it.
Is that yellow shirt is an AI bot? I'm sure.
Who said this?
The board.
But an AI was
Take it as a compliment.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in what sense is he an AI bot?
No, he's saying such great knowledge.
That way, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
in
it's a
that regard
compliment.
only, yeah.
Thank
Well
you,
done,
Vibhor.
Siddharth. Don't these two.
I know.
Yeah,
It's funny.
can laugh.
They're
They can do whatever they want.
zoned out there.
Ha. At least you didn't get your Jones confused.
Jaron Jones.
Is it Geraint or Geraint?
I remember the English
The latter.
commentators then would be saying Gerant. So I don't know.
He's the one who came out and confessed as well, wasn't he?
Of the ball tampering in the Ashes. 2005.
Yeah,
that was Trescothick.
Okay.
Trescothick in his book had said that.
And now Trescothick is, I think, their batting coach, if I'm not wrong, the England team. Yeah, he is,
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, he set up that Ashes Edgbaston game with that
I mean, he was a
90.
great, good, fun opening bat to watch. It was
Brilliant. I mean, exceptional player of spin bowling.
Trescothick, yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's take some comments.
Regular ones.
No, I'll take anyone.
1 o'clock. 11 Sphere says you're
Thanks.
Sid GPT. That's his new nickname, I
Sid
think.
GPT.
ChatGPT.
Good one.
Nice.
Thank you, 11.
Nice
Thank
one,
you,
11
Sphere.
Sphere. We're going to use that. Sid GPT.
ChatGPT, yes.
Maybe we should do a segment like that.
Yep.
Sid GPT.
Huh? What do
We
you
tried
wanna
in the World
The
T20.
stat.
do?
Yeah.
Stat.
No,
Stat
but
attack.
we'll
Stat
give it a
attack.
different twist this time.
Yep.
We'll think about it. Create is fun wants to know India puts on 400 plus from here. Good question. Let's try and answer.
Yes, bat once, bat big.
But 400 plus not easy, huh?
It's already spinning a lot. Day one.
But I'm a bit surprised. Why would the West Indies have a spinning track? Like if I were them, I think at the moment, I don't think it'd be unfair to say that West Indies probably has a better fast bowling attack than India
Yes.
has.
Yeah,
So-
more experience for sure.
Ansari, Kimar.
Yeah. So I'm saying
Holder.
if I had that and my only option is that my batting isn't great, then get a seeming quick track, leave a lot of grass in it, prepare the best you can under the conditions, and so your batting is not going to give you big runs. But then with the kind of pitch, then you can have a low scoring game where you have a better chance, because I think you have a better, more experienced fast bowling attack. You should have gone that way rather than serve a spin friendly track which India would like anyway.
Yep.
So this is, I don't know.
No
In fact,
disrespect to Varikan and
Who was in
Conwell.
commentary was Ambrose only, wasn't it? Who was
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
commentary?
he was in commentary.
And he was like, saying, where's the grass? Why is there no grass on the pitch?
Trust Curtly to say that. If he had been playing, he'd murdered the groundsman.
I know, seriously. Man, even on those, placid decks in Trinidad, he would get pace and bounce from that height.
Yeah.
And God forbid teams playing in Barbados in that era. That was the ultimate fortress. If the GABA was intimidating at that time, Barbados was next.
The body
level.
line.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Boycott found it out when Michael Holding bowled that.
Yeah, but then Jeffrey Boycott kind of brought it upon himself, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Indeed.
Sinner versus Joko. We
Yep,
don't know.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
What
14.
he's asking to pick.
I find.
Dave.
Djokovic. Djokovic.
Yeah. Even
We are looking at a Djokovic versus
24.
Alcaraz final,
And
and
Djokovic
Djokovic is winning.
24.
8th level with Federer, 24th level with Margaret. Court.
Joko just ate him up on clay,
Yes.
which is Alcaraz's favorite surface.
Exactly.
Now they're going to be playing in
Grass.
where he's aiming for his 8th
Eighth.
title.
Yeah.
8th
Level with
Wimbledon.
Federer.
So
And number 24.
no
With
chance.
Margaret Court.
No
Fourth.
chance. The only way Joko could lose, not with an Alcaraz, not with a baseliner. If a big serving guy sometime, can
I mean,
be
he did recently say after facing Hubert Hurkacz
Yes.
that I was very troubled by his
serve.
serve.
That's what he said.
that's what I'm saying. Like a big on grass, a big server
Yeah.
can upset.
That's
the
what,
apple cart.
exactly. After I think it was after the match, he was saying that he found it difficult to read the serve, which is why he lost the first set.
First
right?
set.
Yeah.
So he lost the first set, and that's why he said that it really took him time to get hold of the serve.
But he's got the ultimate trainer in his camp.
Goran.
Goran.
Goran Ivanovic.
His serve was brutal.
No, also, this is Djokovic, who's arguably the greatest returner of serves ever. And if he's finding it tough, Then it is
imagine he's a mixture of great baseline play as well as a great serve. Agassi. He was the best returner of serve.
no, but Joko serves not his strongest.
No, return of serve.
Return to even Agassi had.
Agassi was the best.
So baseliners have great return of serves.
Yeah.
Which is why Agassi had an
Maybe
amazing.
Chang didn't have. Michael Chang.
No, so that's why he never won that much.
Yeah,
You
just
were
that
one Grand
French,
Slam?
one French Open at 17 years of age.
Yeah. So I didn't win much.
Yep.
Oh, debutant Yashasvi Jaiswal.
Indian matters are out.
Yes.
Okay, quick SIG GTP we've taken. Good one we'll take.
Yes.
Manoj Kumar, which story? Later, I've already said few stories. In the post-match, I'll do
Yeah.
the story.
Another story now.
Tom Riddle, my shoes are New Balance.
Of all names, that's the name he takes.
Which one?
Tom Riddle. So, okay, Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Tom Riddle is the actual name of the villain of the series, Voldemort.
Yeah.
So, hence he's taken that name, Tom Riddle. I'm like, very interesting.
Nice. Okay, Vignesh is saying Mumbai cricket system shows that they are good people because despite difficult background players like Prithvi, Jaiswal get a chance, no partiality. Vignesh, I tell you that Mumbai, yes, I agree, is a far more cleaner system than most other parts of the country, which I agree, like where merit is really, gets the credit that they want and they do reach the standard that they deserve to reach. It's also aided by the fact that there is a robust media, a robust former player system where the former players do visit a lot of local matches and keep an eye out on the players that are coming up. So they are also, whereas the problem, especially up in North, it's always this crab mentality where we have, where former players are more jealous about someone new coming and they'll say, "Dekha, iska styles aata hai,
Success
ye
and
hai,
this and
isko
that."
niche kilo." There they push the player, they see a good talent, they will try and aid him, help him, give him all advice so that he can get better. Here the thing is, you see someone good and if he's very good, you try and pull him down. That's the common mentality.
Plus the legacy of winning 40 plus Ranji titles and other domestic
Yeah, but
titles.
I'm saying that legacy is what
That
I'm saying
legacy
is
can
that,
die off if
it
it's
is-
not sustained.
It is a byproduct of all of that. Only
Yes,
the legacy.
exactly. This is what has helped them do it. Whereas here, it's not that good talent doesn't come. But despite that, I'm saying, despite all of that, the players that Delhi has produced, a lot of them, people don't know, come from very humble backgrounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Virender Sehwag,
Sehwag.
Yeah.
okay, Ishan Sharma,
Raman
Shikhar
Lamba.
Dhawan, Raman Lamba, yeah, but I'm saying these are like very humble backgrounds.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
not Gautam came from
Gautam
Ishan.
Sharma.
Yeah. That's what I said. Ishan
Yeah, Ishan
Sharma. Amit Mishra didn't play for Delhi, played for Haryana, but Delhi boy.
Navdeep Saini,
Navneet is Karnal.
Karnal.
Uh,
But didn't he play for DDC?
He has,
Yeah,
and even that
he's
was
a
a whole
Karnal
struggle.
What about Lehra?
No, he played because Gautam Gambhir.
Gautam
was
Gambhir
there.
absolutely
Yeah.
went to
Yes.
fight for them.
Otherwise, yeah. So I'm saying, but the ones who have real humble background are Ishant, Shikhar Dhawan, Virender Sehwag, Ashish Nehra.
Nehra ji?
Yeah, all of these. So for them to have, gone through this corrupt system, that means they must have been so much
Amazing.
better than everyone else. You just couldn't
I
do
mean,
anything.
even there was Ajay Sharma also.
Ajay Sharma,
yeah.
Manoj Prabhakar. But I
Yeah.
think Manoj Prabhakar was.
Ghaziabad.
Yeah. No,
No,
but,
no, but
humble,
I-
middle class.
Yeah, it was a middle class background, not great. Yeah, it was a Ghaziabad.
I mean,
boy.
the first major, if I have to associate.
But
Delhi
tell you
cricket.
a Manoj Prabhakar story, and he mentioned it. I clearly remember. He said that how tough it is to come through the system. He
Yeah.
spoke about Delhi. He was saying I was playing a match. I don't know whether it was a selection during nets or whether he was playing a side club game where selectors had come, and he said my name didn't come. So his coach must have gone and said, that he's the highest wicket taker or the best bowler. But how come his name? So he said the selector tells him, उसको कैसे लेते हैं? उसकी तो बॉल ही सीधी नहीं जाती, हवा में घूमती है. So it's like those are the kind of selectors that we had who were picking team.
But the first individual I will relate to when it comes to Delhi cricket, my first impression was Manoj Prabhakar.
Oh yeah,
Gutsy
he used to
cricketer.
be. That's what I'm saying. He's now faded away
Yeah.
primarily because of that whole episode
Match
that
fixing
happened.
scandal,
Yeah,
yeah.
and also the fact that he, in the sense at that time, was the first one to say that Kapil told me that, and Kapil Dev being the figure that is. So he antagonized a lot of people. Also a lot of people because he did that undercover sting.
Yes.
Where he agreed to, so he lost a lot of people's stuff. So what happens in the system, if you go against the system, you're trying to push out.
You get-
I'm not saying I don't know whether he's clean or not. He may have had his, must have made mistakes or whatever. But I'm saying as a player, whoa.
We were.
Hamilton horror, this is Alzari horror.
But as a player, he was so gutsy.
Yeah.
All of you should read Sanjay Manjrekar, whose birthday it is today.
Of course,
So happy birthday to
Mr. Majrekar.
Mr. Manjrekar. Who isn't very, how do I say, generous with his compliments. If there's one person he's reserved a lot of compliments for in his book is Manoj Prabhakar, and precisely for this point. He said, because if you remember, there was a time of Indian cricket where, people would try and save their spot.
Yeah.
Like however you can, tough conditions, ये सब छोड़ो, मेरा run आ रहे हैं, मैं कैसे बचाऊं?
Yep.
He said in that kind of a setup, there was a Manoj Prabhakar who, you would say anything, open करेगा, हाँ कर लूँगा.
Yes.
Tough conditions where everyone will be like hiding कि छोड़ो आज मैं क्यों जल्दी जाऊँ,
That
you
too
tell him,
fail.
will you do? I'll do it. Will you bowl at this situation? Everyone's
Yeah.
getting hit. Give it. So he was.
Power play ho death.
Kabhi bhi.
Every
He'll say. He was one guy who never said no.
Yeah.
I'll.
Faced up to fearsome bowling from the West Indies, Australia, Pakistan.
Anurag, I think we have a new super.
Shubham wants to know, as Test captain have number written on them, does team carry new caps with them to give during debut? Do you know how it works? Yeah,
Yes.
they do. So there are multiple caps that are traveled because these caps are made to order. They're not available in the market. So they're made to order and then they are got. I visited the baggy green factory in Australia.
Wow.
So it was in Melbourne, and I went and so it was with another company. Now they've sold. It still is with them, but the owners have changed hands and stuff like that. Albion Sport is the one that would make
yes.
the baggy green. So I actually went to the factory. So it was a very nice, cute setup, but it wasn't as large as I thought it was. It was a very comparatively small because the orders are very limited. So they make to order. But I did see the
They make
process.
just the baggy green, or they?
No, they make
some
other caps as well. Yeah, but they were the
But just
official
do
supplier.
making caps.
But the baggy green is not. They're not allowed to retail it. They're
Of
not allowed to
course,
sell it
yeah.
to anybody else. But they make similar caps for like a lot of local clubs have their own colors,
Own
right?
colours,
You'll have the maroon cap or something like
Yeah.
that, which they still use in cricket. They make those caps for a lot of them. You can make an order any sort of cap that you want. Like if I want a blue India cap with something like a BCCI, you can order all of that. So I went and saw. So it's all made to order. And
Oh, Rohit just survived.
did they do a review?
Yeah, they did.
Just
But he
by
was
the
given not out, so.
Just by the skin of his teeth.
But they didn't lose the review.
No, they didn't lose
No,
the
no.
Umpire's call.
umpire's call. That was very, very close. And Cummins had got him on a similar way in the World Test Championship final.
Yes, trapped.
Yeah.
And see again,
Again,
Alzarri
same
that
thing.
same
He's
hard
so-
line.
Swimming delivery.
Again, same mistake as well, by the way, not a lot of foot movement. Once committed to the front foot, again, there's no way you're
16
coming
years.
back.
16 years, Rohit has not rectified that technical flaws, that incoming delivery. But he was in an era where the bowlers could not exploit that weakness. He was lucky. Joshua
He's appealing.
Silva.
Is he gone?
No.
No,
I
but
think
the
it's
keeper
only
was
the
very
keeper.
interesting.
Yeah.
Only the
But
keeper.
nobody else.
Wow.
Even
Alzarri
Alzarri
is-
is-
Not even, yeah.
Yeah, Alzarri is really, really.
Okay, I will take Vikesh's advice. He's saying, guys, get some rest. Vikesh, thank you so much. I think I met Vikesh in UK, if I'm not mistaken. Shom says the thing with Djokovic is that he is so consistent. He pushes his opponents to play one more shot and they fail. Also, he has the ability to elevate his game in match where he isn't even at his best. Shubham, I agree. And that is why I have the highest regard for Rafael Nadal and now a Novak Djokovic. Because what I used to tell people, and I have nothing against Roger Federer, I mean, I think, he was a game changer in that sort, trendsetter. But the thing is that on his good day, yes, Federer was sublime. But on his bad day, you could beat him. But the thing with Nadal earlier and now Djoko similar, that even when they're not at top of their game and when they are looking inferior to the opponent and the opponent is looking better, they still find a way to win, which is a very, very rare ability.
A common thread, I think, between the two of them is that they both fight hard.
That's what I'm saying.
With Federer, you could see if it wasn't his day, it'd probably be wrapped
So
up in
if-
4 sets at best.
No, so if Federer, if A is playing B and Federer is A, if Federer is looking better than the opponent, then he'll win.
Yeah.
But let's say from the start, if you saw first and a half, and he's not looking, if he's looking inferior to his opponent, then there's no chance he's going to win from there. But with a Nadal and Djoko, you may start by seeing that they're not good, or even through the match, you'll think that the other guy has better winners, he has more weapons, he has everything, and they're not. Yet their retrieving or their defensive game is so good that they'll find a way to win on a bad day.
True.
That is an incredible
Federer,
ability.
you could see that disintegration would be evident
The
because
body language.
his
The
backhand
body,
would
yeah.
misfire, his forehand would find
And
the
the body,
net.
Ashwin makes a very valid point. Body language again.
Yeah.
And once his shoulders would drop, you just knew that
On
he
clay.
does, yeah.
It was evident on clay because peak Federer never managed to beat peak
No, in
Nadal.
grass also, yeah, for Djoko that 2019.
Yes.
2 match points, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, 2 championship points. That's the one thing which we don't acknowledge Djokovic. He may be volatile, but under pressure he's
Exactly.
ice cool.
Mental toughness.
Djokovic
I think
is much
where
higher.
I thought that Nadal was the peak, but I say that Djoko is
Djoko.
matched it and probably even better now
Yep.
at that. No, yeah, he's incredible. Absolutely incredible. You love him, you hate him, you boo him, you do whatever you want.
But
You gotta give the devil its due.
8 Wimbledon titles loading as well as 24th Grand Slam.
Yeah.
24 in the
He'll
Open.
finish around 28, 29 or
That's difficult.
See, nobody knows one injury and suddenly sometime
yeah.
it's done. But yeah, where
But
it stands
right,
right,
now, for him, it's going well.
Yep, completely.
Just remember, if he wins Paris gold, if he wins that Olympic
He's
gold,
completed the Grand
he's
Slam.
completed the Super Grand Slam, which only one has done, Andre Agassi.
No, Nadal also has a-
Nadal's never won the year-ender. He's never won the ATP year-ender title. He's
Really?
yeah,
Amazingly,
3
yes.
finals.
never.
He's never won it.
Federer never won singles gold.
Singles gold, yeah.
The closest
Yeah.
thing was in London 2012. Someone
Yes. Sampras never won the Grand Slam. He never won the
French Open.
French, yeah.
Agassi's won all. Year-ender 1991.
Also.
Djokovic has won it 6 times the year-ender, along with Federer. 6. But he's won all the Grand Slams twice, more than 2 times.
More than 3 times.
Yeah. Now, if he wins Paris, the Super Grand Slam is complete.
Then it'll be him,
And
Agassi.
Agassi, that's it.
Graf never did it?
No, only men. I'm saying.
Men, you're talking.
No, Phir bhi. Graf.
Graf.
At her peak was
Yeah,
next
but then
level.
there could be more women who've done that. No?
In the
Serena?
Open era,
Serena would have done
Serena,
Yeah.
Serena's done it. Serena's the only one to do it in both doubles and singles.
Correct.
it. Would have done
Yep. Graf, I think this record will never ever be broken. Or
Where she did the calendar golden.
Slam. 4 Grand Slams and the Olympic gold in the same year. That will never happen.
No.
Too
Never
difficult.
know.
Too difficult. In the Djokovic came close, by the way,
Yeah.
in
Djokovic
2021.
might win in 2024 or
Maybe.
4 Grand Slams Olympic gold.
Yeah.
Might happen.
I don't see any of the current crop challenging Djokovic. though.
Saran's
Yeah.
definitely had his tea, I can tell you.
Yes.
He's so sharp with everything.
All of you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your company. See you at the end of the
And-
day's play.
Yep.
We'll be here live.
Time
Bye
for our
bye.
tea
See you.
break.
Yes. Bye bye.